Ever get that feeling? Like you're casting your net way too wide, spreading yourself thin, trying to connect with everyone.
Yeah.
What if we flipped the script? What if we went after like the big fish, those game changers, the ones who could really take things to the next level?
Right.
That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to be exploring an article called Fish Where the Big Fish Are.
Okay.
It's by Frederick Osei-Manu.
Sounds interesting.
And get this. We're going to extract some seriously actionable insights.
I like it.
About how to land those high-value clients or partners, the ones who can really make waves.
The ones who can make a difference.
In your world, in your business.
It's funny how often we kind of default to that cast a wide net approach.
Yeah, it's like almost automatic.
But what this article really pushes us to consider is what if the effort is similar?
Oh, interesting.
Whether we're aiming for a small fish or a big one.
Right. And that's exactly Manu's point. Why not go for the one that could have a truly massive impact?
It makes sense.
He uses this whole big fish analogy to represent those heavy hitters, like the major organizations, the influential markets, the key accounts.
Right, the ones that can really shift the land there.
Business, exactly. So it's about maximizing your return on effort.
Yes. Not just casting about randomly.
Not just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Exactly.
If we stick with the fishing analogy, you might snag a few smaller fish pretty quickly.
Sure.
But landing that one massive catch could outweigh all the others combined.
Oh, absolutely.
But the article doesn't just stop at the theory.
Okay.
Manu uses a brilliant example from the film The Pursuit of Happiness. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, with Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith's character. He's just an intern, but he goes above and beyond to connect with the CEO.
Right. I remember that.
It's a perfect example of how persistence and strategic networking can pay off, especially when targeting those big fish.
He doesn't just sit around hoping for a chance encounter, right? He actually goes after it, creates an opportunity to connect.
Yeah, he makes it happen.
And it lands him a life-changing job.
It's so inspiring because it shows that putting in that extra effort to connect with the right people, even if they seem out of reach, can yield incredible results.
For sure.
But what makes landing these big fish so crucial for businesses?
Good question.
The article dives into 3 key reasons.
Okay.
And I think they're worth unpacking.
I'm ready. Let's hear them.
Yeah. All right. So, number 1, stability.
Oh, that's a big one.
Big fish often have the resources and infrastructure to weather market fluctuations.
That makes sense.
Imagine a sudden change in regulations affecting your industry. A smaller company might struggle to adapt.
Right.
But a larger one,
And a big fish.
would likely have more flexibility and resources to navigate those challenges more effectively.
Absolutely.
That kind of stability can be a game changer for your business.
Especially in unpredictable times.
Exactly. Having those big, reliable clients, it can help cushion the blow when unexpected challenges come up.
Oh, totally.
So that's number 1, stability. Now number 2.
Okay, what's number 2?
Reputation boost.
I like it.
When you're associated with a well-established big fish, it instantly elevates your brand's credibility.
Right.
Think about it. If a major player in your industry trusts your work and endorses it, others take notice.
It's huge.
It's like a seal of approval from a trusted authority. It sends a really powerful signal
For sure.
to other potential clients, partners, even investors.
Right, like you're legit. You're the real deal.
That you're a force to be reckoned with.
Exactly.
And that leads us to number 3.
Okay, I'm ready.
Network expansion.
Ah, yes, the network.
Connecting with a big fish opens the door to their network.
Oh, yeah, their vast network.
Of contacts, collaborators, and potential partners.
The ripple effect.
It's like a ripple effect. That one connection can lead to a multitude of new opportunities.
Down the line, down the road.
Wow, I hadn't fully considered the ripple effect before.
It's powerful.
But landing these big fish can't be easy, right?
I mean, it takes work.
How do you even approach them in the first place?
That's the question.
Where do you even begin?
Right. It can be a little intimidating.
You're right. It's not always a walk in the park. The article really stresses the importance of crafting a compelling pitch.
Okay, the pitch.
One that clearly demonstrates a value proposition.
For that specific big fish.
For that specific big fish. So it's not just about showcasing what you can do.
Right.
It's about clearly articulating how you can solve their unique problems.
Right, and help them achieve their goal.
So it's about doing your homework,
Yes.
Really understanding their needs.
Yes.
And tailoring your approach accordingly.
No generic presentations allowed.
No generic presentations allowed.
Nope.
But doesn't this laser focus on big fish mean ignoring those smaller clients or partners?
That's a good point.
Wouldn't that be risky, especially for someone just starting out?
Yeah, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. So is it more about finding a balance?
Exactly. It's about recognizing that smaller clients still have value.
Okay.
Especially in the early stages.
They can offer valuable feedback, help you refine your offerings, generate revenue while you're building toward those bigger opportunities. So it's about having a strategic vision.
Yes.
For long-term growth.
Not putting all your eggs in one basket.
That makes a lot of sense. So far, we've covered what big fish are, why they matter, and how to start thinking about approaching them. But before we move on, I'm curious, what stood out to you most from this article?
You know, what I find most compelling is how it challenges us to be more ambitious.
Okay.
It encourages us to, think bigger, to break free from those limitations.
Yeah, the ones we put on ourselves.
And to not be afraid.
Yeah.
To go after those opportunities.
That might seem out of reach.
At first glance.
It's like a permission slip to dream bigger and then put in the work. To make those dreams a reality, it's a reminder that we might be selling ourselves short.
Yeah.
By only focusing on what feels easily attainable. But what's the first step? How do we even identify those big fish swimming around?
In our own field.
In our own fields.
That's where things get really interesting.
Ooh, I like it.
And it's what we'll dive into next. So, identifying those big fish, right?
Right.
It can feel daunting. You can feel like charting a course through uncharted waters.
It's a little overwhelming.
But it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't. Instead of feeling lost at sea,
yeah,
you can start by asking yourself a few key questions.
Okay, I'm all ears. What kind of questions?
We'll start with the basics. Like, what are the leading companies or organizations in your industry? Who are those thought leaders, the influencers? You know, the ones shaping the conversation.
Okay, yeah.
Think about it. Who are the clients or the partners that if you landed them, it would be a significant leap forward for your business?
Ooh, I like that. So it's like a mental exercise to help us look beyond our immediate circle and consider who could have the biggest impact on our trajectory.
You got it. And once you've identified a few potential big fish,
okay.
Research. What are their values, their pain points, their goals? What kind of language do they use in their communication? Are there any current projects or initiatives that they're focused on? You want to really understand their world.
It's like building a profile, gathering intel to tailor your approach. I can already see how this level of preparation could really set you apart.
Oh, absolutely. The more you know about them, the better you can position yourself as a valuable asset.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not about you.
It's about them.
It's about how you can help them.
And that brings us back to that compelling pitch.
Right.
We talked about earlier.
We touched on showcasing the value proposition.
Right. I'm still a bit unclear on how to do that in a way that's both memorable and impactful.
Sure.
What are some specific strategies for making your pitch stand out?
It's about moving beyond a generic list of your skills and accomplishments.
Okay.
Instead, focus on the outcomes you can deliver.
Oh, okay.
How have you helped others achieve similar results? Can you tell a story?
A story?
That illustrates your impact.
Oh, I like that. So it's about painting a vivid picture.
Yes.
Of the transformation they can expect by working with you, backed up by concrete examples.
We got it. And don't forget to be concise.
Keep it short and sweet.
And clear. Remember, big fish, they're busy people. They're constantly bombarded with information.
Information overload.
Get to the point quickly.
Yeah.
And make sure your value proposition is crystal clear.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. Sometimes I get carried away. I over-explain things. I think I need to provide every detail.
It's a common trap. We get so enthusiastic about our work, We want to share everything. But remember, brevity is key.
Yeah,
especially when you're dealing with, high-level executives who value their time.
Okay. So let's say we've identified our big fish, we've done our research, we've crafted a killer pitch. Now what? How do we actually get on their radar?
This is where strategic networking comes in.
Okay.
Think about opportunities to connect with them indirectly. Through, mutual connections, industry events, even online platforms.
Okay.
Engage with their content. Share your own insights. Demonstrate your expertise in areas that align with their interests.
So it's about building relationships and establishing credibility before making a direct ask.
Exactly.
Planting those seeds of connection.
By creating a context where your approach feels natural and welcome, rather than coming out of the blue, you're setting yourself up for success. And of course, persistence is key.
Persistence.
Big fish are often hard to reach, but don't let that discourage you. Follow up thoughtfully and consistently. Demonstrate that you're genuinely interested in adding value to their world.
It's like the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but done strategically and respectfully.
Exactly.
Persistence is important, but I imagine patience is equally crucial, right?
You're absolutely right. Landing a big fish often takes time. It's a process. Building trust, consistently demonstrating your value, nurturing the relationship. Don't expect immediate results. Focus on planting those seeds. That will eventually blossom into fruitful collaborations.
It's like playing the long game. Investing in those relationships with the understanding that it might take time to see a return.
Right.
But while we're nurturing those long-term connections, it's important to remember those little fish too, right?
Absolutely. While you're working towards those big opportunities, don't neglect those smaller connections that can offer valuable support and insights along the way.
Okay.
It's about having a balanced approach to networking and business development.
It's about building a diverse ecosystem where all types of relationships contribute to your overall success. This has been incredibly helpful. I feel like I have a much clearer roadmap now for approaching big fish. But I'm wondering, even with the right strategies, there's still that mental hurdle, the fear of rejection, the feeling that these big fish are like out of our league.
That's a really important point. And it brings us to something crucial, mindset. That's what we'll explore next.
That feeling, right? Yeah. Like imposter syndrome, right? That voice in your head that's like, am I good enough, experienced enough, connected enough?
To swim with the big fish, I get it.
To swim with the big fish. How do we overcome that mental hurdle?
It starts with realizing that those feelings, they're totally normal.
Okay.
Even the most successful people, they experience self-doubt from time to time. The key is, don't let it paralyze you.
Don't let those feelings hold you back.
Don't let them hold you back from going after those big goals.
So acknowledge the feelings, but don't let them dictate your actions.
Exactly. Shift your perspective. Instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on what you bring to the table. What are your strengths? What value can you offer?
What makes you unique?
What makes you stand out?
It's about reframing that inner critic.
Yes.
Turning it into like a source of motivation rather than self-sabotage.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, rejection. It's part of the process.
That's going to happen.
Every no is just a redirection. It's not a dead end. Even the most successful entrepreneurs, the ones who seem to just land those big fish, like effortlessly, they face setbacks along the way.
It's like that saying, right? Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
It's about resilience. That ability to bounce back from rejection and keep moving forward.
Exactly. And every no, it brings you closer to a yes. It helps you refine your approach, learn from your mistakes.
And ultimately, connect with the right opportunities.
That's such an empowering way to look at it. But how do we cultivate that unshakable belief in ourselves? That confidence that we can actually land these big fish.
It starts with small steps. Set achievable goals. Celebrate your wins along the way. Each success, no matter how small, it reinforces your belief, your abilities. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your ambitions. And most importantly, remember your mindset. It shapes your reality.
So if we believe we can achieve something, we're more likely to put in the effort and actually make it happen.
But if we doubt ourselves, those doubts, they can become self-fulfilling prophecies.
It's like that classic line, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly.
So to bring it back to our big fish analogy, it's not just about the fishing techniques, right? It's also about believing you have what it takes to reel in those game changers.
I love that analogy. And remember, the journey of landing those big fish, it's just as valuable.
Like the destination.
As the destination. You'll learn so much. You'll build resilience. You'll expand your network.
Exponentially.
It's
about embracing the challenge, the growth, the excitement of pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And who knows?
You might surprise yourself.
You might surprise yourself with what you can achieve
This has been such an insightful deep dive. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit now for approaching my networking and business development goals. Not just practical strategies, but like the mindset shifts too.
Yeah.
To make it all happen.
I'm so glad to hear that. Remember the most important takeaway.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to aim high.
Aim high.
Put yourself out there. And believe in yourself, in your potential. Start fishing where the big fish are.
I love it. To all our listeners out there, I hope this deep dive has sparked something in you. Go out there, identify your big fish, and start reeling them in. You never know what incredible opportunities are waiting for you.